The #1 syndicated radio show in the world. The Alex Bones Show. Here's Alex Bones.
Here comes the show you've been waiting for. It's the Alex Bones Show.
Just another day on the front line, forced to apologize.
What do you mean I'm a mean boss?
I mean, you're a mean boss, and you don't listen to anything that I have to say.
Maybe I'm a misfit.
I get called a mean boss every single day, and I do nothing but nice things for Jimmy, but he calls me mean boss. Okay, it is the Alex Bones Show. Go to boneshow.com, see all of our shows, hear all of our shows, see photos, see Jimmy.
I'm not on the website. My picture's nowhere on the website.
All right, I'll get your photo up on the website.
Thank you, because then I can get girlfriends, and they can see how pretty I am, and then they'll want to go out with me.
I don't think that's going to happen, but yes, we will get your photo up on the website, boneshow.com. Let's go ahead and kick us off with a video.
Okay, can somebody just explain something to me? Because I need an answer. I've never understood this. Why do some men, some men, I'm not going to say all men because not all men do this weird ass shit, but why do they send you a message, Instagram, Facebook, text, Snapchat, whatever the hell it is, like, hey, okay, well, no response. 2 months later, hey, still don't get a response.
Because we don't know if you saw it or not. You know, we send you a message, and then maybe you get, I don't know, hundreds of thousands and thousands and thousands of messages, and you don't see our message.
Yeah, maybe you saw our photo the first time, and you went, hey, he's not that cute. But then later on, you get dumped by like 55 different guys, and you go, well, maybe I'll give this guy a shot.
Another month later, hey, and this continues on, forever.
Yeah, because you get so many messages, we don't know if you saw it.
Forever. I have this guy that I went on a date with once 12 years ago. Okay? 12 years ago. I am 29. I was 17 when I went on this date.
Okay, so you were hot when you went out then. Maybe you're not hot now. And maybe you're what is that word, Jimmy?
Maybe your standards. It's standards. Maybe your standards have fallen to where, you can date me again.
Yeah, maybe your standards have fallen to a level that is welcoming to somebody that looks like me.
Okay, we went on one date. We didn't even kiss. That was it. He still f***ing hits me up once every couple months.
Yeah, because your standards fall every single month. So maybe back then you were into guys who were 9s, and now you fall into, I don't know, maybe a 6.
With no response.
And then you're going to fall to like a 5. And the 4, then you can date me again.
Why are you still being so persistent?
Because I still want to date you, stupid broad.
I just don't understand.
Because I think you're pretty. And I would treat you good. And you're still on the dating sites. You're still on the dating sites. That means you haven't found the right guy. And I'm the right guy. And you're not going to date me because you don't like the way I look.
Please explain why.
Yeah, see, now you upset Jimmy. Now, see, it's things like this. It's going to make Jimmy not want to message any woman.
Because I try, and I think you're pretty, and I think I would treat you good. But you never find a good guy like me. So you keep dating the bad guys, and you want to give up on dating. But hey, I'm here.
See, you don't pay any attention to guys like Jimmy.
Thank you. Next, if you like 80s rock. Yeah, I'm about to burst your bubble by telling a very true story that has been confirmed by Tommy Lee from Motley Crüe.
Do you like 80s rock?
Jimmy, we're on Rock 95.7. It's really all they play is 80s rock. So yes, I love the 80s rock.
Well, this is a story about Tom, the drummer for Motley Crüe, Tommy Lee.
Yeah, this is about Tommy Lee.
Crüe himself. So the reason why I look so horrified in that second clip is because not only did we find out the story that my auntie, my friend's mom, had been telling us for years was true, but there was one important detail that Tommy Lee left out when he went on that podcast and went into detail about this girl. And just quick disclaimer before I tell you this, please keep that in mind, like that Tommy Lee did not state her age in that before you go after his wife, because his wife does make, both him and his wife make kind of rude remarks related to my friend's mom.
Okay, how old was the broad then? I bet she was like 15.
Yeah, she probably like 13, and she told Tommy Lee she was like 19, I think.
In this situation. And I think the reason...
Is Tommy Lee supposed to check IDs before he lets you in the dressing room? Here, let me check your ID. Okay, you're good. Come on in. No, that's not his job.
Yeah, Tommy Lee can't check every ID. He just wants to get, some booty.
Reason why she is making these rude remarks is because she presumed that this was an adult woman and not a 15-year-old. So, growing up,
Oh, she was only 15. That's not good.
my friend's mom would always tell us this crazy story about how she sat on a champagne bottle. Yes, she was the champagne bottle. For over an hour in a room by herself, that Tommy Lee told her to do that so that she could get a train ran on her by the entire Motley Crue. And she did have the train ran on her by the entire Motley Crue.
Yeah, maybe not Mick Mars.
We always
He ran a train on nobody.
thought she was crazy.
Who's that?
She even had a couple of pictures.
That's the guitarist for Motley Crue.
I'm going to message her and
No,
see
the
if she would
guitarist
be
for
okay
Motley Crue is John Five.
with even sending me this picture.
No, back then it was Mick Mars, and I guarantee he wasn't running a train on anybody.
Of her, it wasn't there wasn't pictures of her doing it,
That's probably John Five.
but her with them that night. I'm gonna ask her if it's okay to
it
share
John
that.
Five?
I messaged her already. We'll see, because she gets on Bookface 3 times a week, so it might take a couple days. She might also not be comfortable with sharing that now, but it's up to her. That's why I'm not using names, but also Tommy Lee has told this story publicly, so it's kind of already out there. But she used to tell us this story as a kid. We were 14, I'll never forget. We were going to this music event that happened there in Charleston, West Virginia. They had rappers coming in. It's called Multifest. There was Ray J, K.
I have no idea what this girl's talking about.
1 year, it's all that stuff, right?
She's talking about a
we were
music
about to go
show
to that, and that's when
with
she
the John Five.
first started telling us the
John
story. We were 14
Five was not
years
in
old.
Motley
She wanted
Crue
to,
when she
tell us,
was
she
that young.
Be
John Five has always been in the Motley Crue.
safe, you can get condoms if you need to. We were like, girl, what are you talking about? And then she breaks out her photo album she was a hardcore 80s groupie, 80s rock groupie, because it was not just them. She's got pictures of her with Guns N' Roses and other bands, and Meatloaf too. She didn't
She went out with the Meatloaf.
do anything with Meatloaf, to be clear. She did not do anything with Meatloaf. These were artists I grew up
She would have been. Why are you talking down about the Meatloaf? The Meatloaf was the awesome guy. Why don't talk down the Meatloaf? She would have been lucky to be with the Meatloaf.
Who's the Meatloaf?
Just Meatloaf.
listening to in the car because my
not the
parents were
Meatloaf,
the
I
ones,
just said
we
that.
don't like
You're the one that said the Meatloaf.
the new music.
just
I
meant
went and saw
Meatloaf.
Kiss instead of
I had meatloaf before, and it came with potatoes.
Britney Spears when I was in kindergarten, which I
it's not
love.
the same
but
Meatloaf.
that's why I was still listening to that stuff when I was a kid in the early 2000s. And she is telling us these stories in graphic detail because she's like, yeah, I don't want you guys to get any bad situations. She talked about how she had to have a abortion at one point, but she wasn't sure who's it
Bad Situations, a Motley Crue song.
was, and she was traveling. She was a
Bad
hardcore
situation.
groupie. So
Is
the
it a
Motley
Motley
Crue
Crue
story
song?
that Tommy
Yes, it's a Motley Crue song.
Lee himself has publicly freaking confirmed is she one night wanted to get back. She was hardcore wanted to get back with the entire Motley Crue. She wanted all of them.
Everybody but Mick Mars.
So she ended up finding
John Five.
a security guard. She's 15. And if you look at the picture, you could tell she's underage is what frustrates me. She's 15.
No, it's not their job to check IDs. Plus, she didn't have an ID when she was 15. We didn't have IDs until we were 16 back then. So she didn't have an ID. So if they said, let's check your ID, she would have went, I didn't bring it because I left it at home.
Years old, she finds a security guard that agrees to let her back into one of the back rooms if she him. So she goes into not even a room. She goes into a freaking hallway that's not being used for this venue.
And what did she do with the roadie?
you and blows.
I'll explain it to you later when we get up. I'll explain it to you now, Jimmy. Come here.
That's when Tommy Lee walks in. And she starts talking
girls
about how
back then
badly
did
she
that?
fuck all of
Girls
Motley
back
Crue.
now
And he
still do
tells
that.
her, oh,
Girls now don't do that.
okay, if you
Girls
go
now
sit
do
on
that.
the
They don't do it to
champagne
you.
bottle, and say, get naked, sit on the same bottle, all of this, I will go get them to right? He leaves. She gets naked, sits on this champagne bottle. Sorry, my kids were trying to run downstairs, so I had to make them go.
Your kids are screaming in the background there, lady. Maybe you shouldn't tell this story around your kids.
Yeah, I don't think kids should hear this story because they know that their grandma or aunt or whatever did things with the Motley Crue.
Go back upstairs for a second. They do not need to hear this. But so she is butt all naked, sitting on the champagne bottle. I do mean sitting
How do you know? Were you there?
on the champagne bottle.
I think her grandma,
He
aunt,
leaves
whatever,
for
told her.
like half an hour, goes and talks to like the entire rest of them and is like, hey, this girl, she's actually doing this. Like, right? And then she goes back to make sure she's still there. She's still butt all naked on a champagne bottle. Comes back, right? Comes back for like another half an hour before they finally all come in. So she sat there for like an hour and then they proceeded
Happy New Year!
to run a train on her. And I
no.
I know back then there was so much insane
Motley
things
Crue
that happened.
didn't
Like I
do
know about the
that.
spaghetti incident too.
Mick Mars wasn't into that. He didn't do that.
That was the John 5.
Wasn't the John 5.
I know about the not bathing for a couple of months to see who could still get women the stinkier they got. But the fact that so many of the girls that are in these stories that you hear about Motley and they tell that are underage and they don't seem to mention that is so frustrating. Even now, Tommy Lee's wife, Brittany, is 24 years younger than him.
Okay, she's 24 years younger than the Tommy Lee now. So when Tommy Lee was 24, she was born.
And
Even though
he's
she's
married, and he's married to her now. And when he was when he was Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee, she could have been his father.
About more recent rock stars and
Exactly.
stuff that are getting caught with young girls and groupies. This has been going on for decades. And I love 80s rock. Like, I grew up listening to that stuff on a freaking cassette tape that we had.
Oh, come on. Winger has a song called 17. Okay. She's only 17.
17, that says she's too young. She's old enough for me.
That's very good, Jimmy. You know Winger.
Dumpster dived and pulled out because I grew up poor. It's a long story. But we gotta stop letting celebrities get away with stuff because the same things that celebrities get away with these groupies.
There was a song back then called Because the Night, and the guy goes, yeah, how's that song go? She's just 15 years old, watching her go, something like that.
Be arresting any random man for like, or
They did
what-
a song
you
about
the woman's
somebody
doing it.
being
like, look at the
15?
Diddy Party situation. People are acting shocked by the
The Beatles did a song about a girl named 15.
Diddy Party, but the rock industry been doing it too, just as much.
So why didn't they get in trouble like the Diddy back then?
Because I don't think they were sex trafficking girls. I think they were just, having fun with them.
Heck, most of the people ain't
They should have all been canceled.
even gonna go down
They should cancel them now.
with Diddy. Diddy's
It's like we saw it and we just looked the other way because they even sang about it. We went, you don't mean it.
gonna go down, and there's a lot of people, Epstein, all of them that just eventually get away with it. If they
She's
try to
only
out everybody else, they once again get the Epstein treatment where they
17,
take their own.
and
Yeah, no, he
she's
didn't.
too
Like when
young,
my
but she's
nieces
old
and
enough to
goddaughters
me.
start going to concerts and stuff,
I'll go grab your bass and I'll play that song on your bass guitar. Yeah, here it is. It's 15. She's only 17. 17. She's too young, but she's old enough for me. I'm Winger. I'm Winger the band. I'm Winger. I'm John 5.
Jimmy, put the bass down. That's not how the song goes.
like when they're older, best believe I'm gonna be right there. Because I've got some of my own stories from going to Multifest and stuff too. I don't know what it is where
Oh, so being a whore runs in your family.
Like, that is like a rite of passage. It's like a weird requirement. If you want to
So
be
your mom did it, your grandma did it, your aunt did it, now you do it.
a famous celebrity, you have to be a
Yeah, way to be a good mom.
pedo or some like, what is up with the music industry? Because yes, there's like actors and actresses.
They don't knock on your door and say, "Can I sleep with your daughter? Give us your daughters. How much for the like the Blues Brothers?"
How much for the little girl? The women. How much for the women? What? You're the women. I want to buy your women, the little girl, your daughters. Sell them to me. Sell me your children. Maitre D. Maitre D.
No, they don't come to your house and knock on your door. You go to them. That's how they get you.
Yeah, you want to go backstage and you want to meet them. That's how that happens.
To like the one guy who adopted a girl, that one celebrity, I can't think of his name, adopted a girl and then married her when she turned 18. But the music industry,
Elvis
it's
did
like
it.
every other freaking rock star, if not more, or a rap star, or like country stars too.
Jimmy
And for
Lee
everybody
Lewis.
that always,
Yeah,
I
all
always
of them
hear
did
like
it.
the older generation, Gen X and boomers and even older millennials, be like, oh, it's
Jimmy's
not,
dad did
you
it.
know, it wasn't
My dad did not do anything like that.
as bad back in my day.
Yes,
yeah,
you
yeah,
did.
it was.
Y-
Okay,
Your dad did it. I remember. He was in the band TNT.
look at Elvis.
Yeah,
The Beatles, another
yeah,
one.
he was in TNT.
These ones that you
But he didn't do that with groupies.
guys
They all did.
made seem like they were amazing. Have you ever actually
Ask
listened to
your
the
dad.
lyrics? Because they straight up admit
No, my dad said he didn't do anything, but he was in the band TNT, and then he went to church, and he didn't do anything with any girls.
shit in their songs. This is damn
I think your
near
dad
written
lied to you.
confession. Usher might
Go
be the
ask
only
him.
one with the song name Confession, but they were out here confessing in their lyrics, okay? It's so disturbing. It really is.
Thank you. Next.
So here's a new way a man decided to be weird today. I stopped to get gas after work, and I was putting my credit card in, and I had a skirt on, and I have quite a few tattoos on my legs. And from behind me, I hear someone at another pump start singing, "Tattoo lady, tattoo lady, tattoo lady, boots on the ground with the boots on the ground."
He's trying to get your attention because he thinks you're cute.
Tattooed lady, and I couldn't even look. I couldn't.
Oh, no. You couldn't even look. He was singing to you.
Hey, the last story, all the girls liked it when the guy sang to them because they did things with champagne bottles.
Couldn't even look up. Why?
Well, why didn't
Why?
you? Why? Why?
Have you never seen a woman with tattoos before? I mean,
No, he's seen women with tattoos before, but you're wearing a dress and boots, and he thinks you're hot, so he's trying to get your attention. Why don't you understand that? And is that your real hair color?
No, it's like a blue-green. That's not even
I
a
do
real
live
hair
in
color.
Georgia, but it's like right outside of Atlanta.
Yeah, but it's still Georgia. In Atlanta, it's fine to have tattoos and blue-green hair, but I guess in Georgia, I don't know.
Like, surely I could not. Also, what were you hoping to gain from that interaction?
He was trying to get your attention to get a date. How hard is that to understand?
Thank you. Next.
You've been lied to about caskets your entire life. Here's the truth you should know.
Oh, no, he's going to tell you truth about caskets, Jimmy.
You don't need a casket to be buried.
I don't need a casket to be... I didn't think you needed one. I think you could just... Like in the 1800s when they just buried him in the ground.
Legally, in most states, you can be buried in a shroud, a cardboard box, or nothing at all. No glossy wood or metal, just you in the ground.
Yeah, it's easier for the worms to eat you than when you're not in a box.
I once helped a family bury their mom in a handmade quilt in a natural burial cemetery. In a way, it was beautiful and deeply human. But here's the catch. Some cemeteries require an outer burial container, such as a concrete box or a vault, to keep the ground level for lawnmowers. Now, this is a cemetery rule, not the law.
I thought it was because the people will go in there and steal your head and your arms and stuff.
People go in there and steal your head and your foot and things like that.
Yeah, because they're looking for, necklaces and rings, and they're trying to make money and catalytic converters and things like that.
Catalytic converters are not in the cemetery.
Yeah, they don't know. They're trying to dig things up. They don't know.
So if you want a true natural burial, you've got to ask the right questions. Funeral homes don't always tell you this, but I will. You deserve to know all the options. Did you think it was required to have a casket?
No, I never thought about it more than ever in my life. And not until you brought it up have I ever thought about it.
Thank you. Next.
My neighbors and friends of 2 years asked me and my husband the other night if we wanted to swap.
Like a swap shop?
Idea that
Did they want to take their cars somewhere?
No, they wanted to switch the wives and the daughter, not the daughters. That's just wrong. They wanted to switch the wives and the husbands with each other.
they were swingers. Our kids play soccer together. We even went on vacation with them to Florida.
Yeah, so you've thought about it. Come on, don't tell me you haven't thought about it.
At no point did we see
Have
it
you
coming.
thought about
So
it?
you can imagine.
No,
the
I
shock
don't
that
think
we're
about
feeling
things
right
like
now.
that.
Because the other night, we went out for Margs.
You went out for margs.
I think she's trying to say margaritas.
Why do people not want to say the whole word? It's like instead of saying Instagram, they say Insta. And instead of margaritas, they say margs.
I don't know. It's just hip to say that.
No, it's lazy.
Like we always do once a month. We're like 2 Margs in and
Margaritas.
said we should all take one of these spicy cubes and see where the night takes us.
What's a spicy cube?
Why are you asking me? I don't know what a spicy cube is. I think it's an ice cube with spice on it.
My husband's oblivious, okay? He has no idea what's happening. And like it's starting to click for me and I'm panicking. I kick him under the table and he just like looks at me and he's like,
Yeah,
I look
what?
down at the box. So he looks down at the box
Yeah, why are you kicking me for?
and he's like, we were very flattered, but that's not our thing. So we had to.
No. He was completely into it. All right, he was 100% into it. And then you kicked him and he went, damn it. That means only one of us is into it.
Oh, so he wanted it to happen, and she didn't want it to happen.
That's exactly right.
To politely decline. Our problem now, though, is that I feel like there's this huge elephant in the room.
Yeah, it's a spicy cube.
I don't know how to act. Like, do we just go back to normal? Like, this is so
No, you
weird
gotta
for
drop
me.
them. You can't go out with margs for them anymore. You can't hang out with them. You gotta move. You gotta sell your house.
I feel like they're disappointed in us because they've been like acting a little weird.
You went on vacation with them and you hang out with them all the time. What do you think they think?
We like need to sit down and talk about. Like, I don't know. I've never been in a situation
No, you just lose their number, block them.
like this. Or do I just
Put up a fence, change your locks, block them.
leave it alone and
Yeah, just
try
don't
to
even go near them anymore.
act as normal as possible? I'm going to need some advice from other swingers, please.
You're not going to find that here, but you'll get advice from us on that.
Thank you. Next.
Hey, what's up, America? Has an alien probe finally been found by humans? It's
Yeah, it's in Jimmy's butt.
There's not a probe in my butt from the aliens.
There might be. That's what he's talking about. He found the alien probe in your butt.
There's no alien probe in my butt.
looking like yes. Yes, it has.
Yeah, you hear him? He says, yes, it's been found in Jimmy's butt.
Oh, he's not talking about me.
In South America, let's take a look at this.
Yeah, Jimmy, let's take a look at this.
Extraterrestrial
Leave me
probe
alone.
from outer space.
Can't take my pants down.
So this is the initial image of the UFO that was over the town of Booga, and it was
Yeah,
zigzagging through the
Booga,
sky
Booga.
before it crashed. And
There's not a place called Booga. He's just making that up.
here's the sphere that was discovered. This is on display while scientists are looking into it. Now, here's the size of the sphere that was discovered.
Yeah, that
So the
doesn't
messed
look
up
like it
thing
was
occurred
made
when they did
in Korea or anything. No, that looks like alien.
X-rays and ultrasounds of this to find out what was inside of it. According to the scientists
Little
that
aliens.
studied this, it was 3 layers of metal, each that was more dense than the other.
3 layers of metal. I could do 3 layers of metal on your bass guitar. See, I could go. That's metal. That's I could play what's that guy? Lemmy from Motorhead. The Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades.
Jimmy, put that damn bass down. See, now you're gonna break my bass. No longer can you play with the bass.
The middle layers would heat up, but the outer layers would stay cool. Upon x-raying this, they found out that it had these small microspheres inside of it on top of an organic microchip of some type. At least they're calling it a microchip. They believe that these little bits in it are some type of ability for a propulsion system to keep it flying as well. So the object weighs 4.5 pounds, and here it was initially discovered in the forest after crashing in Colombia.
I think it had little bitty aliens, like little Star Wars figures. Yeah, they were about that big, and they were aliens, and they got out and they ran. And they ran towards Jimmy's butt, and they're going to put a probe in there.
No, they're not. Leave my butt alone.
Thank you. Next.
Not all day, but let me catch you up on some of today's top stories. The Newark mayor was arrested earlier by the Trump regime after a confrontation outside of an ICE detention center.
What was it, spicy ice?
Was
it spice ice?
A peaceful protest attempting to assert local jurisdiction over an ICE operation that he says violates city law. There are members of Congress with him there as well. They say that they were assaulted by the ICE officers.
It's going to be good.
Stephen Miller says that the Trump administration is, quote, actively looking at suspending the writ of habeas corpus, which is only allowed under the Constitution when the U.S. has been invaded or during an insurrection. Also, this is the power of Congress, not the president, but that's not stopping the Trump regime from pressing forward with their autocratic agenda. Habeas corpus is a writ requiring a person under arrest to be brought before a judge or a court.
I don't even understand a word he just said.
So the Trump regime is basically
it's a habeas corpus in Congress.
Fundamental constitutional rights. Meanwhile, Tufts graduate student Rumeysa Ozturk was arrested for writing an op-ed criticizing her school leader's response to the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza.
See, this is why when real people read the news, they do it at a fourth grade level, because you're speaking big words there, brother. You're never going to make it in the news because you got to dumb it down. Dumb it way down, okay? You're using habeas corpus and words like that. You got to dumb it down because Jimmy, he doesn't understand. I understand, but Jimmy doesn't understand.
Yeah, because I'm still in high school, and I'll ask my teacher on Monday what habeas corpus means, but I don't know what it means, so you got to dumb it down.
Gaza has finally been released from ICE detention. The judge stated that there is no evidence for the Trump regime to detain her whatsoever. Meanwhile, the U.S. has surpassed 1,000 measles cases for the first time in 5 years. The last time it was this high was during the previous Trump administration. Radar screens went black again today.
Measles are coming back.
Airport. Donald Trump is caving again on tariffs. He's now trying to...
Measles having a reunion tour.
Lower the tariffs on China. He's been practically begging China to pick up the phone.
AIDS is going to open for him.
And call him. He now says that an 80%...
I don't think that's funny at all. You can't make fun of diseases.
I can make fun of them all I want. If you decide not to get vaccinated against them and you get them, then I can make fun of you.
Give it up to Scott Bessent. He's basically just making these things up as he goes along. Speaking of Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is warning House Republicans that the government is going to run out of cash while Congress is on August recess if they don't figure out their budget quickly.
Okay, so what happens when the government runs out of cash? You know, when we run out of cash, we donate blood, we sell some CDs, maybe sell a guitar, maybe, things like that. What does the government do? Did they sell sperm and guitars?
What do you mean the government sells sperm?
How do they make money?
He's urging Speaker Mike Johnson to raise the debt ceiling by mid-July to avoid default and
And why they keep raising the debt limit?
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Even when you feel
I don't know any of this.
Even when
Yeah, you're hurting Jimmy's head with the big words. Don't give Jimmy big words because it confuses poor boy. And me too. Because I have no idea what you're saying. I'm gonna go lay back down.